move on, y'all, to our other horror movie news, and let's get into this tea, which has come out that Linda Cardellini, actually, this, I won't say is old news, but this rumor has been swirling for, I would say, the past week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, that, excuse me, Linda Cardellini, who she was on ER, but I remember her from Freaks and Geeks. That's how far back I go with her on, with Linda Cardellini, because I've always been a Linda Cardellini fan, and I used to watch Freaks and Geeks with, that's when we met everybody. James Franco was on that. What was his name? I almost said Joe Rogan, Seth Rogen. All of them, they all started out on that show. Whatever happened to the one that played her brother? I haven't seen him in anything. But anyway, so there was a rumor floating around that she was in talks to play Pamela Voorhees, that would be Jason's mother, in the upcoming prequel series Crystal Lake, which we heard that they were working on it. I don't know if they started filming, but I remember there was scripts done. The guy who was behind Hannibal and everything was supposed to be working on the franchise. On the series. What had happened was, I guess, A24 and the people behind the series were not happy with the scripts, were not happy with the direction he was going to take the show. I also heard that the budget was crazy. They was almost spending over $100 million. And y'all already know, when it comes to A24 be on a budget. They kind of like Blumhouse and all them in that sense, where it's like, we don't do 150 to we don't do Disney number budgets. No, I was gonna say number budgets, whatever. They don't do Disney budget style stuff on their programs. They will give you maybe to them, I would think like maybe $10-15 million is like a max. Maybe even they'll push for 20. Although I think Everything Everywhere All at Once had a big budget, because that was an A24 project. But nevertheless, the word on the street, and now it's official, according to Deadline, that Linda Cardellini has signed on. So I was going to talk about this a couple of weeks ago, but I was like, let me wait and see until it's confirmed before we start talking. So now it's confirmed. So fans of the Friday the 13th franchise will recall that Pamela Voorhees was the mother of Jason Voorhees, the hockey mask-wearing slasher featured throughout most of the films of the horror franchise. And y'all already know, like, from her story, that in the original movie, this is why I always love when the Scream, when the opening of Scream with Drew Barrymore, who was the killer in Friday the 13th? And it was like, no, that's the wrong answer, which it actually is, because it's like, no, Pamela Voorhees was the killer in the original movie. She killed all the counselors. Then you had, oh my God, I totally forgot her name, Adrienne King, who played the final girl in the original movie, Alice. And then they killed her. Then Jason got his revenge and killed her in part 2, which I was mad about. And then the word on the street was that Adrienne King had signed on to play, I don't know, an undisclosed role in the Crystal Lake series. I'm wondering if she will still be a part of it. I hope so, but we'll have to see. But I haven't heard anything in regards to like casting and stuff. But I remember she was supposed to be a part of the original, because she was posting on social media that she was going to be a part of it in some capacity, was giving updates. And I remember at one point they did kill her off in the second one. And the reason why they did that and she wanted out is because she said she had a stalker. So she left the industry, and then, then she came back like decades later. But nevertheless, Linda Cardellini, is going to be playing Pamela. I don't know to what capacity, like where they're planning on going with this franchise. Is it really going to be about Jason as a kid and her working at Camp Crystal Lake? And then, we get to see like what had happened to him and stuff that leads up to that. Will we get to meet Jason's father? Like, I'm wondering like where they're planning on going with this whole situation. And remember that basically her whole story was, because she died, anybody that came back to Crystal Lake, because the camp was closed down and they were reopening it, that she sought revenge on these people because they let her child drown. They were making love while Jason drowned. Remember that? Kill her, mommy, get her. No place to hide. You can't hide. Look, I've seen that movie like 8 million times. So they said Cardellini was recently cast in a lead role in the upcoming HBO series DTF St. Louis alongside David Harbour and Jason Bateman. She's a 3-time Emmy nominee, 1 for Mad Men and 2 for Dead to Me. Her other TV roles include Freaks and Geeks, as I pointed out, ER, which I used to watch, and Bloodline. I don't know what that is, but she was a part of it. Now, in film, she is known for her role, of course. She was in Scooby-Doo, where she played Thelma. Oh, no, it was Velma. I said Thelma. Velma. And then, Sarah Michelle Gellar and Freddie Prinze Jr. and Stu from Scream was in it. I love those Scooby-Doo movies. Those are like such a guilty pleasure. But anyway, so it's like, yeah, she was in the Scooby-Doo live action franchise, and she was also in Brokeback Mountain, playing one of the wives alongside Miss Michelle Williams, the founder, and for playing Laura Barton in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That would be, Hawkeye's significant other. So, the person who is a part of taking over as creator, writer, showrunner, and EP is Brad Caleb. Now, I'm not really familiar with his background on what he's done, but that's who they got. I don't know. So we're just going to have to wait and see if he is actually, like, they found the tone and they figured out what they're going to do and if this is actually going to be a good show. But it says A24 is EPing. Victor Miller, who penned the original film, remains on board as an EP along with Mark Toberoff, Robert M. Barsamian, Robert P. Barsamian. Are they twins? Because y'all got the same name. I mean, same name, but different middle name and same last name. The original Friday the 13th, as y'all know, was released in 1980. It grossed nearly $60 million against a reported budget of $550,000. So they paid, like, the budget was $500,000, and the movie grossed $60 million at the box office. But there, have been 11 films, sequels. We had Freddy vs. Jason, Jason X, the reboot in 2009 with Jared Padalecki, and then Jason, as y'all know, became the main antagonist from the second film on. So I'm really hoping that with all of this, that they managed to work everything out, because they said Victor Miller, who penned the original film, is an executive producer. But what about the person that was a part of the film and then the ongoing sequels and the people who created Jason, all this? Did y'all work all that red tape out? Because I'm really hoping that we get to at least see what Pamela is going to be doing in this franchise, as well as Jason. Like, I want to know, I wanted to be able to see if y'all could be able to use both characters, because there's always been this thing. A reason why I was in limbo for so long is because of it was the Jason versus Pamela situation, and who could use this thing and who couldn't use this IP and this part and this character, and who owns the rights to this thing, and then you have to wait this amount of time for the rights to be up for people to just be able to use it for fair use. It was just a whole mess. So, excuse me. I'm hoping y'all can work it out. I'm looking forward. We need new Friday the 13th in our lives. As somebody who grew up watching these films, and when I shouldn't have been, because I was way too young with the whole Friday the 13th. As a child of the 80s, I should not have been watching these movies, but I was watching them. And as a fan, I really want them to do this franchise justice. So I ask all of you, what do you think of this story regarding Linda Cardellini coming aboard officially as Pamela Voorhees on this long-awaited Friday the 13th prequel series, Crystal Lake? So whatever your thoughts are, I would like to hear from you. So let me know in the comments down below.